Most people think saving money means missing out on life. But after 15 years as a financial advisor, I've learned the opposite is true. The people who understand the value of every dollar are the ones who actually live the most comfortable, peaceful lives. Hi there, I'm Sarah. I'm a financial consultant, but above all, I'm a wife and a mom of 2 energetic kids and 1 husband who can't resist the latest tech gadget. And trust me, no matter how many degrees you have in finance, managing money in real family life is never simple. I've spent years helping other families create budgets, plan investments, and pay off debt. Yet I still remember the nights when my husband and I would sit at the kitchen table, surrounded by bills and a pot of half-cold coffee, wondering how our paycheck had already disappeared. But over time, through those long nights and trial and error, I discovered something powerful. People who save aren't stingy. They simply crave peace of mind. They save not because they fear spending, but because they value freedom. The freedom to choose, to sleep better, and to live without the weight of what if hanging over their heads. In my 15 years of working with families from all walks of life across Illinois, one truth has stood out. The wealthy aren't always the ones who earn more. They're the ones who keep more. I've met people who make around $50,000 a year, yet within a decade, they've paid off their mortgage, built a small investment portfolio, and even started a college fund for their kids. And I've also seen clients earning over $120,000 a year who live paycheck to paycheck, buried in credit card debt, always chasing the next promotion just to stay afloat. So what's the secret difference between them? It's simple. They save smartly. Today, I want to take you on a little journey, a reflection really, about why savers keep getting richer and how you can start doing the same thing, even if it's just with a few dollars a day. You see, a lot of people think saving means being cheap, cutting corners, or saying no to joy. But that's not what true saving looks like. Real savers don't live poor. They live intentional. They know what brings real happiness and what only brings temporary satisfaction. They understand that every dollar saved today isn't a dollar lost, but a seed for tomorrow. And yet our culture often rewards the opposite. We're told to treat yourself, to live in the moment, to upgrade now, pay later. The result? Millions of families live under quiet financial stress, constantly anxious even when the paycheck comes in. Saving isn't about saying no to life. It's about saying yes to the future you want, with confidence. Let me paint a picture for you. 2 families, both living in the same town in Illinois, both earning the same income at about $60,000 a year. Family A spends almost everything they make. They eat out often, upgrade their phones every year, and always tell themselves, "We deserve it, we work hard." And they do. But every month when the bills roll in, their checking account dips dangerously close to zero. They tell themselves they'll start saving next month, but next month never really comes. Family B, on the other hand, makes the same money, but they do something small. They save 10% of every paycheck. They have an automatic transfer that moves that money into a separate account before they even see it. They meal prep instead of eating out every night. They wait for sales. They drive their cars a few years longer. Doesn't seem like much, and just a few small habits. But 10 years later, Family B owns their home. They have an emergency fund, some investments growing quietly in the background, and, perhaps most importantly, peace of mind. Family A? Still working hard, still chasing the next raise, still living month to month. The difference isn't income, it's discipline and mindset. The truth is, money grows the same way trees do. Slowly, steadily, and only with patience. The wealthy understand that time is money's best friend. They don't let money sit idly in checking accounts, nor do they spend it on every new impulse. They let it work. Through investments, through compound interest, through smart choices. When you save and invest, you're not just collecting dollars, you're building options. You're buying freedom, peace, and time. The real wealthy people I've met don't define wealth by luxury cars or handbags. They define it by freedom. The ability to say, I don't have to do this if I don't want to. That's the quiet luxury of the saver. Over the years, I've noticed that people who build wealth consistently, not just once, but for decades, share three simple habits. One, they always have a clear budget. They know exactly where their money goes. Not every dollar has to be restricted, but every dollar has to be accounted for. Some use apps like Mint or YNAB. Others write it in a notebook. The method doesn't matter. The awareness does. Two, they buy smart, not emotional. When they shop, they think long-term value, not instant satisfaction. They wait for discounts, use loyalty points, buy quality over quantity, and resist that little voice that says, I deserve this just because I'm tired. They don't let emotions drive their wallet. Three, they automate savings. They pay themselves first. Before rent, before bills, before anything else, their savings account gets paid. It's automatic. It happens whether they remember or not, because they know if you wait until the end of the month to save whatever's left, there will never be anything left. These habits may seem small, but over time, they're life-changing. When you live with a plan, money stops being the monster under the bed. It becomes a tool, something you can control, shape, and direct. Imagine waking up on a Monday morning, not worrying if you can afford your bills that week. Imagine going on vacation without guilt. Imagine telling your kids yes to that school trip and knowing you won't have to put it on a credit card. That's the long-term gift of smart saving. It's not just numbers in a bank account, it's mental peace. Over time, that peace creates confidence. And that confidence, it spills into every part of your life. You make clearer choices. You stop chasing instant pleasure. You finally feel secure. Now, let me share something with you, not to scare you, but to make you think. People who never learn to save often end up working for money forever. Every decision they make is tied to their next paycheck. They can't afford to take a break, change careers, or say no to a toxic job because they've built no cushion. Meanwhile, those who save, even just a little, create a foundation. Their money starts working for them. And when that happens, life changes. Because financial freedom isn't about having millions, it's about having options. I can tell you this because I've lived it. Today, I can honestly say my life feels stable. Not because I'm rich, I'm not, but because I finally understand how money really works. When I began working with high net worth clients, people you'd call the wealthy, I was shocked. I expected lavishness, excess, impulsive luxury, but what I saw was the opposite. They weren't chasing trends. They were measuring value. They drove regular cars, packed their lunches, and invested quietly every month. They didn't brag, they built. They had goals, not just things. That changed me. It showed me that financial freedom isn't a privilege, it's a skill. And like any skill, anyone can learn it. Saving isn't about deprivation, it's about direction. When you save with purpose, you're telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. So, if you're a mom listening to this, tired juggling bills, trying to stretch every dollar, this is what I want you to know. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. You just have to start small, $5 a day, 1% of your monthly income. Set it aside, automatically, consistently. Let time and discipline do the heavy lifting. Because the truth is, saving isn't about the amount. It's about the habit. And once that habit grows roots, so will your confidence, your peace, and yes, your wealth. Start today, not because it's easy, but because your future deserves it. Closing reflection. I'm Sarah, a mom, a wife, and a financial expert from Illinois. And if there's one thing I've learned from both my clients and my own journey, it's this: being rich isn't about how much you earn. It's about how intentionally you live. So here's to all the women, all the families, all the dreamers out there. May you save not out of fear, but out of love. Because one day you'll look back and realize that little act of saving wasn't about money at all. It was about building a life you truly own. I truly believe anyone can change their life. It all starts with one small habit. If you found this video helpful, hit like so I know you're still with me on this journey. Share in the comments how you're saving every day. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss more tips on living financially free.